hotel shouldn't be too expensive. We're staying at room 13. Usually airy and usually very, and that's just how my life goes. And I don't ever try to dress to impress. Fuck you, preppy asshole. On the 14th floor in a bathroom door don't lie. So happy we don't gotta worry about the cops. We could all get arrested for this, but when the bodies mix, I don't give a shit tonight. Alright. She walks in the bedroom fast, despite all the noise from the crowd. Now she's bedless on the bathroom sink. Her mother would be so proud. Gets on a deed and there's a line to go pee, but the bathroom looks like a war zone.
Welcome in to episode 54 of Phired Up, presented by the Belly Up Podcast Network. Go check them out at bellyupsports.com. You can also check us out and all of our content at firedupsports.com. Go check that out. So I'm Mike Gilletto. Joining me as always is Dom Console. Dom, what's going on, man?
What's going on, man? Listen, I gotta be honest with you guys right now. I had a Pop-Tart before this. The acid reflux might kick in, baby. So
okay, $1 million question. What flavor?
It was the Oreo.
Okay,
Did you ever have the Oreo?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
It's like yeah.
That's sure. If it was like a strawberry or something, like I probably would. I'm already feeling it, but it probably wouldn't be as bad because it's chocolate, like the Oreo. So
Right.
Yeah. So we're gonna be fighting through conditions today. So
that's fine. There's a lot going on in the city. What a Thursday night it was in Philadelphia, because there was a bunch of stuff that happened. Starting with Phillies win in the afternoon. Then you have the Sixers before the Eagles even had a chance to think about a pick.
right.
The Sixers blew out who'd they play? Toronto. Thank you. Blew them out of the water, and then we had the draft. So.
Yep.
It's a busy night in Philadelphia. And I guess we can kind of start with the Eagles, right? Let's kind of dive in there. So they start on the clock, or they start the draft at pick 15. And then run around pick 12, 13. You're like, all right, let's ramp up. We're a couple picks away. This guy's there, that guy's there. And then there's a trade. They move up to 13. A pretty big price.
Before we even
go
get
ahead.
into that,
Go ahead.
how about reading all day that like this team might move up into the top 10? Like I'm sitting there at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, like, yeah, we're gonna move up in the top 10. We're gonna get one of these defensive ends, or we're gonna get one of these cornerbacks. Like I'm ready to go. And it was a pretty quiet top 10 if there ever was one. Because there were a couple of things that like you saw or a couple of days before the draft was Carolina might move out of that 6th spot. The Jets might move 2 of their picks for Debo. You know what I mean? Like you were seeing a lot of things in these top 10s in the top 10 that could have possibly happened. And I think it was like an hour or two before the draft. It was like Howie Roseman's working hard to move up for one of the defensive ends. So, but like I said, it was just a really quiet top 10. Nothing happened. Yeah, I mean, besides the picks, but like
right.
There was really no trading at all in the top.
Nah, there really wasn't any movement. But apparently the price was steep, because just to move up 2 spots, I feel like Roseman gave up a lot, right? It's like 3 picks, like a 3rd and a 5th. Well, I forget exactly.
I think it was
like 3 separate.
It was
picks.
a swap. It was a swap. 15 and 13. It was 2 4s, I think, and maybe
another pick, a 6.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think it was a 6th because they didn't have a 6th-round pick. Right. But yeah, I mean, it was a ton. I mean, but listen, if he's their guy, to move up 2 picks, I understand, but you had to kind of jump the Ravens. And who did they trade with?
Who was Houston? I believe it was Houston.
Yes, it was Houston. Yes. Houston knew that they were trying to jump Baltimore for the defensive tackle.
Jordan Davis, yep.
Yep, so they upped that price, and the Eagles were willing to pay for it.
What was your initial thought when the name was announced.
Listen, I had said for a week before that I thought, and I even said it on the show, he was my mock draft, my pick for the Eagles at 15. I'd said if he was going to be there, they're going to go for him. You have Hargrave and you have Cox coming off the books next year. You've got Milton Williams, a young guy. They want to pair him up with another defensive tackle stud. And listen, I'm fine. It's not like defensive tackle is not like the sexiest pick in the world. It's not like a skill position. It's not, it's not even a defensive end. Like,
Sure.
but they're important. They're important against the run. I'm not 100% sold on him yet, only because it worries me a little bit about his motor. There were some questions about his character. Or not really his character, but like his
His work
how much
ethic.
his work
Yeah.
ethic, how much he puts it in. He doesn't play on third down. He gets he gets real tired at the end of games. I mean, but somebody had explained to me, Georgia, you gotta realize, like, Georgia blew everybody out this year until the end
Yeah,
of the year, until
absolutely.
the playoffs, really.
Yep.
So, this kid was not, didn't have to play much in the second half, much on third downs. So by the time the national championship game rolls around, he is cooked.
Sure.
Coming into the NFL, I think if he's got the right work ethic this time, listen, you're putting him in a room with Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Josh Sweat, guys that have been in the league a few years, a couple leaders, you know what I mean? So, I'm not against it. I'm not rooting against him. I hope he turns out to be great. I don't hate the pick. I'm just not as thrilled as everybody for those reasons. Not because I don't think he's not going to be good, just because I don't know what his work ethic is going to be. Is he going to, have the motor on all four downs? And listen, the Eagles play a lot of rotations, so
absolutely.
So it might work,
especially because like their defensive line is very deep. Like, I'll give them that. So there will be a lot of rotation, but this pick's growing on me a little bit. When the pick was announced, I was underwhelmed, because the fact there's something to be excited about because he is at that size. He is fast. He's got speed.
Yeah. And he's an SEC player too. Like,
that's true.
How long have we
helps.
been saying let's bring in the SEC players?
But the big reason I think I was not as excited immediately is because just from an organizational need, I think Kyle Hamilton would have fit better on this team. I thought he was the right pick right there.
Right.
So when they traded up, I thought that's who they were trading up for.
I agree. I thought that would have been great. He was my favorite player in this draft. It's just like safety and linebacker, they just don't value that position the way they value defensive line.
For sure. But I look at their depth chart and like who's playing safety and cornerback too.
Right.
Like safety.
Who's playing either safety position?
Yeah, I mean,
like
you still have
Anthony.
You still have Anthony Harris.
Yeah, true.
And then who's on the other side? Marcus Epps, Kevon Wallace. Like,
right.
I don't.
Kevon Wallace did add. He. I don't know if you saw the pictures.
I did.
He added like 15 or 12 pounds. Like he got real big.
He hit the gym, absolutely.
Yeah.
So maybe there's something there, but
right.
I think Hamilton's got the higher upside, so I would have preferred Hamilton over
absolutely
over Davis. And another reason why I'm skeptical with Davis is I keep hearing about how he's mainly a run stopper. He's not really a pass rusher. And in an NFL that's skewing way more passing than running, I think being able to pass rush is more important.
Yeah, no, I hear you. But at the same time, I don't know. Listen, we were spoiled with a guy like Fletcher Cox. Fletcher's cock. We were spoiled with a guy like him because defensive tackles don't get to the quarterback. Like, they're not supposed to get to the quarterback. So, like, is that just us being spoiled, or is that just us, or is that like a realistic thing? You know what I mean? Like, is that a realistic expectation?
Yeah, no, I guess, but
listen, I would love for him to give the quarterback too. I'm not really expecting it. So, like,
well, I think it's fair to expect it when you're a first round talent and you pay that price to move up 2 spots to get them. I feel like you got to be able to do it all.
Look at the running backs that they play twice a year. Saquon Barkley, Ezekiel Elliott.
Are either of those guys the same guys they were 2, 3, 4 years ago?
maybe not 2, 3, 4 years ago, but they're still pretty good running backs who are going to
Yeah.
try to run the ball up the middle. And you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you. I don't know how much I'm going to expect a defensive tackle to get to the quarterback as well as a rookie. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe. Did we know that the Fletcher Cox was going to be a guy that got a lot of sacks as a defensive tackle?
I love how you just said Fletcher Cock, not even trying to do that.
Yeah. Listen, man, Fletcher's cock, he gets me, Fletcher's cock gets me excited. So,
Exactly.
but yeah, I don't know. I just listen. I'm not totally excited about the pick, but I'm also it was a position at need, and they love that position. They love the defensive line.
Oh yeah,
So-
I mean, you go back to 2017 and I mean they had the best offensive and one of the best defensive lines in football, and it worked for them there, and they're just trying to replicate that. So
And
I get it.
I definitely agree with you. Like Kyle Hamilton was there. I would have rather taken him, but they just don't value that position for whatever reason.
Yeah,
Like I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying they just don't.
yeah. No, you're right. 100%.
They just don't like value it.
Right, and I thought that like when they didn't do Hamilton and they didn't really address safety at all in the draft, I thought they had like a backdoor deal with Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah,
Now, it
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
seem like that's going to work. He's signing with the Saints, or at least he's expected to. But I just thought Hamilton was just organizational, like just a bigger need.
Yeah.
Personally,
What do you like? What happened? Like, what do you think about the idea that like, what if they thought that they were going to sign Tyrann Mathieu and like they were like, all right, we'll move up we'll move up to 13, we'll move up to the 2 picks, we'll let Kyle Hamilton go because you kind of figure that the Ravens were going to take him if you're taking Davis, and we'll just sign Mathieu. And now that doesn't happen, like what do you think Howie's thinking? Like, you know what I mean?
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I if you're doing all that, you have to like be certain.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So,
but then like I didn't really, nobody really had a chance to think about it, for a while, because 2 minutes later seems like they go out and trade the 18th overall for AJ
Right.
Brown, which got, I mean, I feel like kind of shocked everybody. I don't think anybody really saw that coming.
yeah.
Um,
How? Let me ask you a question. Okay. Before I ask the question,
okay.
I'm trying to see if I should ask the question or not because I don't want to
Go
give
for
it away. All right. So who do you think's
Give it-
better, Ridley or AJ Brown?
Oh, I think they do different things. I think as
Who would you rather have?
I think I'd rather
Honestly.
have Calvin. I think I'd rather have Calvin Ridley.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say because I think I would rather have AJ Brown just because of the physicality. And listen, we've talked about it on the show a little bit too. Like,
Well, it's actually, I think it's too. I think for and because now I'm thinking about it, I think I would change my answer. I think it depends on who the quarterback is. I think if you have
Okay.
somebody who's an actual passer, I think Calvin Ridley makes more sense because I think he's a better route runner and he's a better receiver. I think he can catch better than AJ
you
Brown.
think?
But
Really?
I think so. Sure. You don't
Have
think
you
so?
seen
But
the highlights of AJ Brown one-handed catches in the end zone for touchdowns and shit?
He had a lot of drops last year.
Okay, that's fair.
He had a lot of drops last year. Now, granted, he battled
had
injuries.
he
but-
had more catches than Calvin Ridley last year.
That's true.
So
That's a fair point. But
I don't
but in
have
this-
more this year.
But in this offense, where maybe things are going to happen closer to the line of scrimmage, where you could throw a
Right.
little dunk pass to AJ Brown and let him do his thing, maybe he fits more in this offense more than Calvin Ridley. I mean,
Right,
possible.
a guy that could get the 10-yard catch, turn it into 30 yards because that's what
Yeah.
AJ Brown does. Like that's where he
Absolutely.
gets all of his yards. I think he was like second in the league, or he might have been first in the league in Yak. So that's definitely exciting. I think I'd rather have AJ Brown. I just think physically he's more of a wide receiver one. Look, the injury history kind of is I'm a little skeptical on. He's only played a full season once. I mean, it's just going into his 4th year. He's at 1,000 yard seasons. Last year, I think he had just under 900. But yeah, no, I hear what you're saying though. The reason I asked that question more is just because I thought it was kind of a blessing, not a blessing in disguise, but because I would have liked Ridley. I mean, if they made that trade, I wouldn't have been upset. It's just I just think they got the better end of the two players. You know, my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's possible. And they're comparable. I mean, I'm looking at their stats. I mean, I just think Ridley catches the ball more. Like career catching percentage.
What would this be? His 4th or 5th year?
Who, Ridley?
Yeah.
He played 4 years.
Okay, so it would be his 5th year if he's playing this year.
Correct.
Okay.
But his career catching percentage is 68%, where AJ Brown's is 62. So he just catches more balls that are thrown to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, AJ Brown has the kind of the breakaway type, talent where he's tough to tackle once he gets the ball.
Yeah. So. I just think he gets up to he gets the ball. Like, he goes up for the ball more. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I also think that like I'm not like shitting on AJ Brown. I think he's a tremendous ad, and I think he's going to do wonders for Devontae Smith on the other side. More opportunities going to open up for him, other than having like fucking Jalen Reagor on the other side. Like, so I think AJ Brown's a great addition, but at the same time, with who the quarterback is, like, does adding another like wide receiver really matter? I don't want to be all gloom and doom this show. I don't want to do it, but like, the quarterback's still Jalen Hurts, and I know they're like best friends, and it's like a true bromance. So maybe it works out, but
but also he's 24, so like
true.
If it doesn't work out this year, you still got a 25-year-old. You know what I mean? It's he's not 29, who you're hoping. Okay, hopefully we get a couple more good years out of him. You're hoping to get more than a couple great years out of.
But but if it doesn't work out with Hurts this year, and he's not the guy. With how close him and AJ Brown are,
no,
you don't think
it'll matter.
You don't think AJ Brown is going to work his way out of Philadelphia because
absolutely not?
You don't think so?
No, it's a business, especially from what I heard today. He said, "I have no hard feelings to Tennessee." He said, "I love Tennessee, but at the end of the day, this is a business, and if you don't perform, and if you don't, If it just doesn't work out, it's a business. Like it's work. It's not. Yeah. It's not. Anything. I just
think it could be. I think it could be something to keep an eye on if that was to happen.
I understand what you're saying. I disagree, but I understand what you're saying. It makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't listen. If Jalen Hurts doesn't work out, I don't think he's gonna say I don't want to be here because my best friend's not here. Like I don't think he's a diva like that.
Right.
So like.
Maybe.
I don't know.
It seems like a true bromance. I don't. How do they even know each other? I mean, I guess they're not that far apart in age. They're right around the same age, I think. So
yeah, around the same age.
I guess it makes sense, but I don't know where they go to school together. What happened?
They didn't go to college together. No, they didn't. AJ Brown went to Ole Miss, and
he did. Yeah,
Hurts went to Alabama and Oklahoma. I don't know. Maybe they knew each other before. I don't know.
Maybe it's odd though.
Yeah. Like to me, like I don't think AJ Brown comes in this situation not knowing the situation. You know what I mean? He's got agents. He's got people. Like he's got to know that situation before coming here.
Oh sure, yeah.
So,
and that deal's already hammered out before the trade even happens.
Right.
Like, I think they asked him about what his reaction was like when he found out about the trade, and he's like, I knew about the trade this morning.
Yeah,
I guess it was right. Like I guess it was possible, depending on how things shook out, that he had a feeling he was going to get traded to the Eagles, and the contract was already handed out at that point. What do you think of the 4 years, $100 million?
It's not my money. So, I mean, I kind of hate saying that. Like, I hate when people say that. Like, it's not my money, just sign them. Like, I don't know. What's it? 57 guaranteed. The Eagles have not had a star receiver like this since what? T.O. Maybe.
I mean, can you go back to the days of Deshaun Jackson? I mean, the thing with Jackson was he was more boom or bust. Like, he would give you a 150-yard game, and then the next game he'd go out 2 catches, 25 yards. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
So I don't...
But I'm talking about, like, big-bodied.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, you could say Alshon. The year of Alshon was a big body.
AJ Brown is a way better receiver than
Alshon. Oh, no, he's a better receiver. He's a better receiver, but I'm just all about, physicality.
Yeah. No, I got you.
You got Alshon, but he was more
But here's the thing, though. Like, the problem with Alshon was they signed Alshon to be like before Alshon came here, he was this red zone guy who was catching fades in the and then the Eagles are like, yeah, we want to sign you, but we don't throw fades to the end zone. No. They draft JJ Arcega-Whiteside because what does he do? He catches fades in the end zone. What do the Eagles do? Yeah, we're gonna draft you, but we're not gonna throw fades to the end zone. Like Like it just kind of was like a theme to me.
Yep.
Like we were saying before, like AJ Brown catches the ball 10 yards and breaks for 30 or 40. You
Right.
know,
Yep.
and he could be that guy that catches a fade if for whatever reason, you know, and obviously it's not the same regime or the same coaching regime as the Super Bowl years with Alshon, but you know, if they ever find that in their playbook, you know, it's definitely available.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. But like, and back to the whole Hurts thing. I mean, there's no excuse for him this year, right? Like this is kind of make or break. You have
Right.
another year of Devontae Smith. You have AJ Brown now. You still have Dallas Goedert. I like at this point the biggest question mark other than Hurts when you're talking about a skill position at this point is probably Miles Sanders. He's the biggest question mark at this point. Like, what kind of production are you going to get out of Miles Sanders?
And I think Miles is a good. I think Miles is a good player. He's a good guy. It's just health.
It's health
is the
and
biggest
it's
thing.
health and fumble. Like hold on to the football.
Holding on to the ball.
Those two things are
And-
Miles' biggest issues.
For sure. And I also want to go back to the Jalen Hurts thing a little bit. We all know how I feel about Jalen Hurts. I am rooting for the guy because he's the Eagles quarterback. I hope he proves me wrong. But like you said, you know, it's make or break year for him. But like my biggest worry is that like he's going to play well enough for them to give him a contract, but like he's never going to be better than like I don't want him to be Ryan Tannehill or who else is there?
Case Keenum.
Not even I think he's better than Case Keenum, but like just like a very good game Tony Romo, like a very good game manager. You know what I mean? Like having these weapons like can make you a lot better, but they can also make you look a lot better. Like look at him in the second half of last year.
Would you take Jalen Hurts or Baker Mayfield?
Man, I'd probably just keep Jalen.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they have the same issues. I think Baker get the ball down the field a little better, but
right.
I think he has the same issue where he doesn't read the offense. You know.
Yeah, no, I got you. I was just curious.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, I think they're very much at the same.
Right.
You know, maybe one's the 15th best and one's the 18th best, or one's the 18th best and one's the 20th. Like, I don't think it really does much difference. It's not much of a difference. It doesn't do anything drastic.
Right. I'm trying to think of other quarterbacks I could ask you about.
Well, that's the thing too. It's like this team. Like I was thinking about this today on my way home from work. Like this team, you think like, all right, they have two good receivers. They have a good tight end. They have a good running game. They have a good offensive line. They have on paper a good defensive line. On paper they have good linebackers. They struggle a little bit the secondary, but like let's say Jalen Hurts goes out there and he's, you know, worse than last year, or at best he is what he was last year, which we agree that's not good enough, right?
Yep.
Okay, so what happens then? Like, do they move up to draft a quarterback right next year? Then you're waiting another 2 or 3 years for that guy to really develop.
You have to at that point, or what quarterback is going to be available?
That was what I was thinking about.
What this year's versions of Rodgers, Wilson, like who's that going to be next year?
Right.
Yeah, who's going to be that next year?
Well, that's what I was trying to think about. Like, because obviously, like the Wilson was kind of writing on the wall for a year.
The only quarterback at that level that I could think of, and I think he's overrated because he hasn't proven anything yet. The only person I can think of that could go south like that is Kyler Murray.
Okay.
Because their relationship doesn't seem perfect.
Right.
And he has talent, so
I agree. I agree with that. I think he's a nice player. Like I think he's a nice player. I think he's better than Jalen, but like.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's injury issues. He's tiny
for sure.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
But what are the quarterbacks out there that could be in that situation come next year?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like Wilson, we kind of knew a year before. Like there was writing on the wall.
Yeah, he's been asking for a trade for a while.
Yeah,
before the whole allegation stuff happened.
Wilson, I mean.
I'm sorry. Watson, Wilson, the W.
Yeah, well, I was gonna talk about both. So Watson, we already knew for a year, definitely for a year prior. He sat the whole year. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Even Wilson though, there was frustrations between Wilson and Pete Carroll the year before.
That's right.
This upcoming season. So it's like. You know, these things don't play out overnight usually,
right?
So like that's the thing is like we've got to start hearing about it now, you know. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, the whole Stafford thing too. That was not a surprise, but like that kind of happened overnight, I guess.
I don't know if that's a surprise because like he was in Detroit for so long and they gave him absolutely nothing to work with, and they were in a rebuilding phase.
Yeah,
but like,
no.
I don't think people expected him to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback year one. I mean, it's just a perfect scenario. Storm.
I just meant like not a surprise in the sense like he got traded and won a Super Bowl. I just mean like we weren't hearing about in the media. I want out. I want out. Like Watson,
he's
like Wilson.
Stafford was a pro though. Like Stafford handled it.
But
really
that's what
well.
I'm saying. Like, it doesn't always happen overnight, I guess.
For sure.
Sometimes it kind of does. So it's just a matter of who that quarterback's going to be, and are we willing to move those 2 picks for him, or one of those picks, or do we move up and get a quarterback? And we know rookie quarterbacks don't win Super Bowls. Second-year quarterbacks could win Super Bowls. But that's the thing. It's like a 2 to 3 year process. So it's like
for sure, but you trade for a guy like AJ Brown who's only 24 years old, so you could theoretically wait another year or two.
Right. Even if it's 3, it's 20. He's 27 years old.
Yeah.
Smitty's what? 20. He'll be 24, 25 at that point.
Right.
And hopefully got a young offensive line at that point. Mailata, Dickerson. Eventually we'll talk about him. But
that's a great segue. Let's just get right into it. Second round pick, 56 overall.
I didn't want to say it. Because I wanted to.
Cameron Jurgens, center out of Nebraska.
So you like his nickname?
What's his nickname?
Beef Jurgen, or something like that.
I didn't hear that. That's fantastic. I like that.
So he like apparently like I don't know if he's got like a business or something like. Something with like beef jerky, like he loves beef jerky, so they call him like Beef Jurgens or Beef Jurgen or whatever.
I love that. That's a great nickname. Now I'll be honest. I don't watch a whole lot of college football, and when I do, I certainly don't pay attention to the offensive line.
Yeah.
So
Nebraska,
right? So I don't really know much about him. The one interesting thing is that Jason Kelsey pretty much helped scout this guy and pretty much put his stamp of approval on it. And the fact that the Eagles are getting word from Jason Kelsey on scouting and what players to take makes me think as soon as he retires, he's up in that front office somewhere.
Possibly.
That's really the only thing that I can think of when I hear that.
Or he's just really, he just loves the Eagles so much.
I guess, but it's I don't know. Apparently, he was heavily involved in this pick.
Yeah.
So the fact that they have that much say, you're taking a center who's not going to play for year one, because that's like the best case scenario is him not playing a single snap, because that means Jason Kelsey's healthy the whole year.
Right.
So the pick you pick that in the second round. I don't love that because again, there's so many areas in need. There was a couple cornerbacks there you could have taken.
But I love it.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah. So,
but
I got you. The secondary, not taking secondary. Really, the whole draft is a little questionable.
Hold on. Let me ask you this though. Like you pick this guy. You pick this guy Jurgens, center, right?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you just spend a draft pick last year, a second round pick on a center last year?
He's not going to play center. He was never going to play center.
You don't think he was ever going to play center?
No.
Okay.
You keep him right where he's at.
Okay. Fair enough.
I think they drafted him for the intention of him playing center, but once they saw how good he was at left guard, I think they found a guard.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead. Go on your love fest for Beef Jurgens.
Okay. So yeah, no man. Listen, I would have taken Linderbaum in the first round. People rate him the best center. He reminded me a lot of Kelsey. We're not going to sit here and break down a Ravens draft pick or whatever. Did he go to the Ravens? Yeah. We're not going to break that down. But I read a lot of these scouts think Jurgen. What's his name? Jurgens. A lot of people think Jurgens was rated the highest center in the coming out of the draft.
Yeah.
So listen, man, I'm all about beefing up that offensive line, especially for the future. Like you said, I hope we don't see him this year, at least not in that position.
Right.
If he has to move to right guard for an injury, I'd be happy to see him. But no, I actually really like this pick a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay,
I think he's very athletic. I think he's strong. I think. Listen, if Jason Kelsey says you pick him, we listen to our king, right?
Absolutely.
So
absolutely. And then we can kind of move into the third round, 83rd overall. I feel like it was a surprise that this guy dropped. Nakobe Dean, linebacker out of Georgia. It seemed like people were saying this is a first round talent, right? Like somewhere in the mid teens, like right around the 15 to 18 range that the Eagles are picking.
Listen,
A lot of people thought he was going to go in that range.
listen. I was like a school kid in puberty. I couldn't stand up when I saw that happen. When I saw that draft pick, man, whew, I was actually at a party, and we everybody celebrated like it was like Christmas morning, like, or like, the Eagles just won a playoff game. Like it was a lot of fun. But listen, like you said, people thought he could have gone in the first round, the top 15, top 20, whatever it was, and he slides to the third round. And I've been hearing a lot of things, whether it's injury, him recovering from injury, or his height. I don't know what it is. He's saying that the injury's a little overrated.
Well, apparently, it was some sort of injury thing, and then Howie Roseman and Dean both said, "What injury? Well, no, we're fine, we're good." So either Howie Roseman and the Eagles are getting swindled into believing he's healthy, or the rest of the league just has bad information.
Yeah, and I think it's a little bit more likely to be the first thing, but
right.
But now, man, listen. This could be the steal of the draft.
That's what I keep hearing. Yeah. Absolutely.
So, the dude is just an unbelievable run stopper. He's he gets to the sidelines quick as hell. So, listen, another SEC player. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Especially on the defensive side.
And a linebacker. We talk about it all the time. How they last year they didn't pick a linebacker until the 7th round. Right. Like we talk.
And
about
then the year
time.
before they took a guy from Colorado in the 3rd round who we've seen play 4 games in 3 years, 2 years, 3 years, whatever it's been.
Right. Exactly.
And De'Veon Taylor. So
right. So I mean, and the fact that like they addressed it with Kazir White, like it seems like they're actually acknowledging that linebacker does matter.
Of course. Look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yep.
Look at the LA Rams. Like they have good defensive line, good linebackers. I mean,
even Dallas. Look what Parsons did. I know he did a lot more than just linebacker, but but still, I mean, it's impactful.
Yeah.
And Dean seems like he can be the captain of your defense. Like right now, who is the captain of the defense? Is there one? I mean, is it still Fletcher? I mean.
Right.
Who's the captain of the defense? Ever since Malcolm left, I don't know if you've had one. I think Dean could be that.
Well, you definitely have captains. But you mean like a true captain?
Yeah, like a true leader of the defense.
But I don't know if a rookie comes in and does that though.
No, not right away. But I think he has the potential to
of
be that.
Of course, I think Kazir White could do that too.
Even Reddick, I think could.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hassan Reddick.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
And you didn't really have Brandon Graham around because he got hurt, but
what's going on with him? I haven't heard anything. Is he going to be healthy come training camp? Or
I think he should be good. Yeah. I mean, he got hurt in week 1, so
right. Yeah.
I don't think there's really been much out there. So, yeah. I mean, I think he should be all right.
Okay.
Sixers are in trouble here.
Yeah, I'm watching it. They're down by 15. It's not looking promising. We'll talk.
I've got 7:26 left, right?
Yep, 7:26. That's where I'm at. Yeah.
All right.
So let's move on to the 6th round. And I didn't have a pick in the 4th or 5th, probably thanks to that trading up from 15 to 13.
Right.
6th round, 181st overall, Kyron Johnson, another linebacker out of Kansas. What can you tell us about this guy?
Not a thing.
Okay,
I have no idea.
I don't
listen.
Watch. Kansas is known for their basketball. What are you picking football players for?
Right, and I don't watch much college football. But if I do, I'm definitely not watching Kansas. So, I mean, listen, it's probably just a depth pick. A guy. Listen, your 5th, 6th, 7th round guys, or especially your 6th and 7th round, you're throwing darts at the board and hoping you're throwing shit at the wall and hoping it sticks. So
you're picking a rugby star and hoping he could be your offensive tackle.
Right. So yeah, I mean, it could just be a camp for body, a body for camp. It could be a depth piece. Who knows? He could be, Patrick Willis. I don't know, but I'm not going to sit here and try to bullshit you guys. So I don't know a thing about him. So
right. Okay, fair enough. We can move on. And then their last pick, they pick a tight end out of SMU, Grant Calcaterra. I don't know a thing about this guy either. I don't know how much of a need tight end is at this point. I guess you really don't have many on the roster, I guess.
Go ahead.
Obviously, move on from Ertz last year, so maybe they're just trying to fill in that second tight end role. But
Right.
I don't know.
I think this is more of a third tight end kind of role. Because listen, you got Dallas Goddard, you've got what's his name?
Jack Stoll,
No.
the guy, the quarterback,
Yeah.
Tyree Jackson.
Tyree Jackson.
Yeah.
Now the question, right? So that's the question: is he going to be a healthy tight end? Is he going to be a healthy player? So I don't know. We'll see. I think that's a real concern, especially for a team that loves tight ends, likes having 2 or 3 really decent tight ends. Who knows? Maybe they go out and get Richard Rodgers again for a 5th year in a row on a 1-year deal.
Right.
And listen, it's the same thing. When camp starts to roll around, and they still don't have they signed Steven Nelson at cornerback right before camp, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Or during camp. They can do the same thing at tight end. You know what I mean? Listen, you've got Dallas Goddard. You have so many weapons on this offense now that it actually kind of worries me. What kind of production are you going to get from Dallas Goddard after you just paid him all that money? You know what I mean? If it all depends on the quarterback, you could see Smitty and AJ Brown both have 1,000 yards. You could see Dallas Goddard have 800 yards. It just depends on the quarterback. We know this offense, they want to throw the ball. We saw that in the first half of last year. Yep. Once they realized that they just really couldn't force him to throw the ball and be successful throwing the ball, they started running the ball. But I think with the right quarterback, that could happen. You could have 2 1,000-yard receivers and an 800-yard tight end. But yeah, I don't know. I think as camp gets closer, or even during camp, if Jackson can't stay healthy, or he doesn't look like a number 2, or whatever it is, they'll make a trade for a backup tight end or a second tight end, or they'll sign somebody
yeah.
Or who knows? Maybe they throw shit at the wall and see if it sticks with this kid.
Yeah. So, I mean, come to camp, work, and hopefully you find a spot on this roster.
Yeah.
And then after the draft was completed, there was a slew of undrafted free agents, and the Eagles found their quarterback of the future.
I love it.
Another Carson, not Carson Wentz, Carson Strong, quarterback out of Nevada.
They should have gave him number 11. That would have been hilarious.
Oh, that would have been a big fuck you, wouldn't it? That would be lovely. I know there's concerns when you're talking about, apparently he's got cartilage damage in his knee or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, I remember halfway through the year on this show, we were talking about quarterback draft picks in the upcoming draft, and one of the guys you named was Carson Strong being a first-round pick, being one of the best quarterbacks in this draft. So if the health things work out with Carson Strong, I mean, you get him as an undrafted free agent. Maybe he's not a stud starting quarterback, but if you could get some sort of value, I mean, what do you have to lose? I mean, I love the signing, even if it doesn't really mean much.
I completely agree. He's probably got the best arm of the quarterbacks in this draft from what I've seen, from what I've read. And like you said, you have nothing to lose. Go out and try to see what this kid has. The reason he did fall was because of the knee problems.
Yeah.
But he kind of fell off a little bit after I said something, because I think I cursed him.
Yeah, because I think he was playing a big. He was playing a big game against Alabama, because I remember, because I asked you the following week, how'd he do against Bama? Unless it was the other quarterback. It might have been Carson Strong.
No, it was Carroll.
Was it Carroll? Because
we were together.
Yeah, I forget. I don't remember, but I was like, how did he do? And you're like, oh, fucking terrible. I don't want him.
So it was. I
thought
Carroll.
That was Strong. Okay.
I was actually with your dad. We were watching the games, and they both played at the same time. Carroll, was that his name? Carroll.
Yeah, I forget.
We're just gonna go Carroll.
That's fair enough. Go for it.
He played against Alabama, and Carson Strong played against Boise State on the blue field. You know that blue field they have.
Mm-hmm.
So we watched both games, and they both looked horrible.
Yeah, right. That's what it was.
So, yeah, no. Ever since I said something, I cursed his career.
Right.
But dude, the experts, Ray Didinger, had him as a 3rd-round pick. Even the day of the draft.
Right.
They were not expecting him to drop. So who knows? Maybe it works out.
Maybe. I mean, listen, if if Jalen Hurts doesn't work out, maybe Carson Strong will. Could you imagine if another Carson is a starting quarterback and like actually progresses into a franchise quarterback?
Right. Yeah, that would be something.
It's awesome. So
My phone died. I can't watch the Sixers anymore.
Oh no, you're not missing much. They were down by 21 with
Okay, wonderful.
with 4:40 left. I guarantee you, Jimmy Butler's not going to be out there with 3 minutes left. We'll get to that in a little bit. Anything else? The Eagles you want to talk about? I mean, I think I tweeted it out, but is this the best offseason Howie Roseman has had as general manager of the Eagles?
I mean, not the best offseason. No, the best offseason probably going into the Super Bowl year.
Like I know they won a Super Bowl that year, but like what
They went out. I mean, they went out and got Garrett Blount was a huge.
Yep.
Alshon, Torrey Smith were both huge. Jay Ajayi, he wasn't the offseason, but
It was the middle
they
season.
added
That's
him.
fair enough. Yeah.
What else did they do? Bradham was the year before.
They signed Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles.
That's a big one.
Yeah, but like at the time, I don't think any of those moves expected to be big ones. Where
but like, what else did they do this year besides AJ Brown?
I mean,
and the draft?
Reddick is a big one. Because
he's a nice player.
Because you're white, I think is a big one.
Yeah. Okay.
AJ Brown.
I got you.
So I mean, I was just curious if
I understand.
I think it's up there because like at the time, I don't think anybody expected any of those 2017 moves to be that impactful. Like the only one I think going into the season that people were like hyped was probably Alshon. Like that was the biggest name in that offseason.
Right. Dude, I'll take you back to the day. I think they signed them both the same day, Smith and Alshon. And they were like, dude, we were waiting for we need a receiver. We're done with Dorial Green Beckham and Nelson
Jesus
Aguilar
Christ.
like as being the 1-2. Like, and I listened to the radio driving and they go, oh, the Eagles signed a receiver. Who is it? Torrey Smith. I'm like, oh. Nice. And then like an hour, like 2 or 3 hours later, it was like the Eagles signed Alshon. It was like, all right, here we go. That makes the Smith signing a lot better. And I like Torrey Smith. I think he's a great guy, but it's definitely not the big receiver we were looking for.
Absolutely.
But
I
understand what you're saying too. Like this has been a really, really good offseason. It's been an A+ draft, an A+, but then again, at the same time, like we were also talking about like why aren't they making moves? So like, maybe this is why, because of AJ Brown. They were going to look for a receiver.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. There's really just 2 question marks, and I said it earlier about this team right now, and that's who's the safety and who's the cornerback too.
Right. And how good is his quarterback going to play?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'm talking about like
Position-wise,
roster-wise.
I got you.
Yeah. I think those are the 2 biggest questions. And I don't know what options are out there other than the guys internally and rookies and young guys.
I know we're trying to like transition to like the Sixers or whatever, but like, what do you think about the idea that this thing that I've been hearing that they're going to possibly go to a 3-4 on defense?
I mean, I guess it makes it. I mean, I would have said you're insane last year to do that because they just didn't have the personnel for it. But I guess you get a Reddick, you get Kazir White. I mean, I guess it could work. You have Nakobe Dean now if he's healthy.
I'm reading a lot of things and hearing a lot of things that they're actually like legitimately considering moving to a 3-4.
I mean, I'll tell you this right now. I've been looking on ESPN.com on the Eagles depth chart, and it has them down as a 3-4.
Does it really?
Yeah, it
Okay.
has the line as Graham, Cox, Davis, and then it has. Oh, never mind. I lied. It has them 4-3. Never mind.
Okay.
And then Barnett is the 4th. Never mind. I was wrong. And then White, Edwards, Reddick.
I think it's a lot harder to rotate
as a 3-4.
As a 3-4. Yeah, but I think
because
who was it?
Because like linebackers theoretically can play on the line in a 4-3. Not many linemen can play back. Like so, yeah, it's easier to rotate in a 4-3 for sure.
But I forget who was saying it. Somebody on the radio, a former player. I don't think it was Ike Reese. I think it was somebody else. Was saying, listen, if you have an uneven amount of players on the defensive line, it makes it harder for the offensive line. So you get 5 guys that rush the quarterback. It's a lot harder to, protect.
Right.
So I don't know. I was just curious to see what your thoughts were.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm curious to see what they do. I mean, there's question marks when it comes to Jonathan Gannon and the way he runs his defense. So if I see any sort of improvement schematically, then I'm
Yeah.
all for it. You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, I got you. For sure.
So, all right.
No, I was
we
just
can-
curious.
Yeah, that's fair enough. We can move on. Before we get to Sixers, their game's about to wrap up. 3 minutes left. We'll do some trivia. You said you have trivia,
Yes,
right?
I'm excited for this trivia.
Okay.
I'm
not too
pulling it
excited.
up.
We'll see. We'll see how this works.
Well, it's a little different. It's a little different this time.
Okay.
So sorry, it's loading. Come on. Okay, so we are actually not going to do sports trivia. I know we're a sports show. We're a sports show, but
Fair enough.
I wanted to rock the boat a little bit. Listen, I told you I was rewatching Entourage.
Okay.
And I know you and I feel about the show.
Okay.
I think
Is
it's one of your
is-
favorite shows.
Is
Listen,
it
let
Entourage
me
trivia?
talk. Let me talk.
Go
Let me
ahead.
talk.
Uh-huh.
I know that it's one of our favorite shows. You know, one of your favorite shows, right?
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
it's
Been a
one of
while
my
since I've seen
favorite
it.
shows.
So go ahead. Uh-huh.
So yes, you are right. This is going to be Entourage trivia. I hope our listeners like Entourage. You know, like I said,
Okay.
it's one of our favorite
Yeah, I
shows.
haven't seen it in a long time, so you might stump me here, but let's
Okay. All right,
go ahead.
let's give it a shot. I try not to go like too crazy.
Right.
Like there were some crazy questions. But yeah. So like I said, Entourage questions. Okay. So first up, what is the name of the dog that Vince purchases in season 1? He's in it the whole series.
I know he is, and I could see him. He's like the black dog, right? He's
Yeah,
black,
the Rottweiler.
like a Rottweiler. What was
They got
his
him like
name?
season 1, episode 2, and he's been in it. I think all throughout the movie too, like up to the movie.
I can see it.
I'll give you a hint. It's the same name as an 80s actor, 80s and 90s.
I have no clue.
And this actor was
I should
also
know. This is gonna.
this
piss me
actor was
off.
also the governor of California at one point.
Arnold.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah,
It is Arnold.
that was their dog's name.
Arnold,
That's a
yep.
Dumb name for a dog.
Okay. So next question. What late night show did Vince appear on? He's only been on one late night show. It was season 1.
Shit. What late night show was this?
This person
it-
still has a late night show currently.
I don't know if he still does, but I know that. So was it in the movie? Somewhere along the lines, he was on like Piers Morgan. So I'm gonna say Piers Morgan.
From the movie?
Yeah, was it in
So
the movie?
it's not from the movie. It's not from the movie.
Okay, I don't remember. So that wasn't right then.
No.
He still has a late night show. I don't remember.
Drama has a beef with him, and then at the end they make up with this late night host. He says that this late night host, they were friends back in the day, and he basically ghosted him.
Kimmel. It was Kimmel, right?
Is that your final answer?
Yes, it was Kimmel.
He's Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, Kimmel.
Yeah, he said Kimmel, you ghosted. Basically, and I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah,
but
I
he says
remember. I remember that feud now that you say. Yeah.
because like Drama wasn't allowed in like the room that they have people. He was like kicked out of the room that you know, when somebody on the show has their people with them.
Right. Because I know at one point he did feud with Piers Morgan too, so that's why
Right.
I thought of that one originally. But that might have been the movie.
All right, next up. This one's gonna probably be the hardest one.
Okay.
What is the name of the rapper that Turtle manages?
Oh my God.
It's season 2 and 3.
I know exactly who it is. I don't have
I can
much
give you a
time.
hint. Yeah, I can give you a hint. It's a city. It's a city in Vietnam. I know that probably doesn't help you at all.
No, it doesn't. And you're gonna say this. Does it begin with like an S or something?
It does.
It begins with an S. Cause I remember everything about it. I don't know. For the sake of time, I don't have
got
a
you.
guess.
His name is Saigon.
Saigon. That's right.
Do you remember how he was founded?
I forget. He said
So-
something about CD, right? He left
Yeah.
like a CD or
So
something.
they stole Vince's car and left the CD in
That's
there.
what it was. Yeah,
And
yeah. I gotta watch
the
the show
next
again.
day, the next day he goes to the body shop that he works at, and he's like, "Are you Saigon?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, well, I'm Vinny Chase's boy. I want to manage you." He was like, and the friend was like, "Man, I told you that wasn't Dre's car or something like that." They tried to like put it in Dre's car or like some big like uh um record company.
Right. That's funny though.
So, all right. So next up, in season 2, what job offer does Vince receive that Ari says Vince must do or else find new representation? This is the big one. This is probably his biggest role.
What movie?
Yeah. Season
Biggest
2,
role.
Ari tells Vince he must do it or find new representation.
Is this dude, it's been so long since I've seen this movie.
No,
and I have
it's definitely hard to like.
I've seen the show, like, because all the seasons kind of blend together from like a.
Of course.
I'm gonna go. I don't remember if it was early or late, but like Aquaman. I think was it Aquaman?
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
It is Aquaman.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, he wasn't gonna do it because he didn't want to play a superhero.
Yep.
Ari talked him into it. He did it, and then he found out that Mandy Moore, his ex-girlfriend,
Yep.
was on it, and they had a whole big thing. And
It was I was either thinking that or Medellin, but I think that came in later.
Medellin came in later, yeah.
Yeah, it was like season 7, something like that.
All right, last question. I actually just watched this episode. What actor does Eric have many weird encounters with in season 3? So okay, so I'll elaborate a little bit. So, he sees him at like a rooftop deck. He asks about Sloane.
I'm just trying to think of actors that have been in a while, and the first that have been in multiple times. The first person I can think of, rest in peace, is Bob Saget.
It is not Bob Saget.
Okay.
So let me finish. So the first time he sees him is on the rooftop. He goes, "Yo, Eric, how are you?" And like they start talking. He's like, "How's Sloane?" "Oh, you know Sloane? Yeah, I know Sloane." And then he goes to Vegas and he runs into him again. He's like, "Oh, did you ever tell Sloane I said what's up?" And
the dude from, God, I know who you're talking about. Seth. The fuck, Seth. What the fuck is his last name?
read a fucking book for once, Seth.
It is Seth Green. Seth Green.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
It is Seth Green.
There we go.
What are you, 4 for 5?
I was pretty damn
Let's
good.
go.
Like that.
4 for 5. And you didn't get the hardest one, which it was really hard.
Right.
Well, it was not an easy question, but let's go.
Seth
Good
Green,
job.
There we go.
Yeah, they
Damn.
fight in Vegas.
It's funny you acted that scene out so well. I
Yeah.
saw it happening in my head.
Because I'm rewatching it for the 5th
Yeah.
time, 6th time, whatever it is, and I just watched it. So like it's so funny, like because I don't know if you're I listen. This is our show. We could talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about.
Absolutely.
So what's his name? Drama goes for they're like, Drama, you want to go to Vegas? He's like, no, I got a pilot coming up. And they're like, why don't you go get a massage from the guy that you like to get massages from? He's like, oh, that's a good idea. So he goes to Vegas. He makes like all these comments all day that this masseuse thinks he's gay, and like,
Right.
and he gets so mad at that he comes downstairs. He comes down to the club, and Seth Green is like, he goes up to Eric and he's like, oh, did you tell Sloane? He's like, no, man, I just saw you a half hour ago. You just told me to say hi. Like, I didn't talk to her in a half hour that you said to say hi to her. And he's like, oh, he says something about like pelting her in the face with his man stuff, and like and Turtle was like, well, I can't break that up. And all of a sudden Drama comes out of nowhere and just punches Seth Green. It's fantastic.
That show's great. I'm gonna have to watch
fantastic.
it again.
It's incredible.
I've said it before. Ari Gold's like the greatest character
in
the history of television.
Dude, him and listen, a lot of people say like him and Lloyd are a great like duo, and I agree with that. But a really underrated duo is Ari and Eric. They are such an underrated duo.
Absolutely. Because just the bickering and the one-liners between the two of them is great.
Oh, and it's so funny how the show would be so canceled today.
Absolutely. But it's so good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it.
Yeah.
What did you think of the movie?
I liked it. It was good.
It was fine,
Yeah.
For what it was.
Yeah. Did you hear they're talking about bringing it back?
Show or the movie or another
show.
movie? No. Like,
Yeah.
I heard that like stuff with Jeremy Piven and like he might do like a spin-off type show maybe. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So apparently the dude who plays Vince, Adrian,
Grenier or whatever.
yeah, he was like the only one that wasn't gonna do it, and then like last week he was like on an interview and they were like, "What do you think about Entourage? Like them like making a spin-off or like redoing it?" And he was like, Why would we do that? And they were like, "Well, because you don't want to do it." And he's like, "No, that's not true." He's like, "It's just like a money thing right now. Like who's going to?" He's like, I don't want to sign up for something that doesn't have like money, you know what I mean? Like that who like I want answers before I say yes. Like I like
Right.
who's gonna produce money, who's gonna produce it, who's going to, do it all. Like but he's like, I would definitely be interested in playing Vince again. Like that would be a lot of fun. I'm definitely like interested in the dynamic, how they would do that today.
Right.
But yeah, so
Yeah, I
we'll
don't know
see.
if I would like. I don't know if I would like it the same because like I feel like
I
they
would just have to
tr-
see how it is.
right because I feel like they would try not to step on toes like they did
Yeah,
when it was out. You know what I mean?
for sure.
And it just wouldn't be the same show. I don't think.
But then again, like watching season 1 versus like if you watch like season 6, it's changed. It changed. Like you can't say the R word anymore. Like you can't say the F word, like FAG. You can't say that word anymore. Like you know what I mean? Like so, from season 1 to season 6, like you couldn't do that. So like they did change, and it wasn't as good as early.
Nah, I mean not necessarily though, because like by the end of it, Vince was banging a porn star. Like,
No, I understand that, but I just mean more the language. Like you can't say
right,
like the RETARD.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you could tell even season 3, like they stopped saying certain words that they
Really?
said in season 1. Oh yeah,
I didn't notice.
yeah,
Huh. All right, that's enough Entourage talk.
yeah.
'Cause we could be here for a while.
Oh, absolutely. We might just start another podcast. We'll just go through every episode.
Yep. Absolutely. I'm do like a watch along. We'll just watch
Yeah.
it, and every week we'll come back and talk about the episode.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Well, we can move on to the Sixers though. They lost 106-92. So game 1, they're officially down, 1-0 in the series.
Yep.
Obviously without Embiid, which is kind of the big story of the series. They don't have a shot. They don't have a snowball's chance in hell to win the series without Embiid personally. And I don't know when he's coming back. It sounds like game 3 maybe.
Right.
But if you were in order to win the series, you're gonna have to steal one in Toronto. And I thought tonight's game,
Miami.
I'm sorry, I had Toronto on my mind. I'm watching. Yeah, never mind. I had something else on the screen. But so yeah, I think you had to steal one in Miami, and I thought tonight was more likely of a game for you to steal because Lowry was out. Now I don't know if Lowry's going to be out in game 2.
Yeah.
I don't think they've announced it, but I think there's a better chance you steal tonight's game. Maybe I'm wrong.
I disagree with the fact that that if they were going to steal a game, it was tonight. I said they were going to lose tonight. I said that like to somebody else today. I think they have a better chance with game 2 because they want to see how they're going to play without Embiid, how it's going to look, how Miami's going to look without Embiid. Look, at one point they almost stole it. Like at halftime, they were up.
They're up by 5 or at some point. Yeah.
So right after halftime. So, listen, I think they saw, okay, this is what it's going to look like. We're going to come out in game 2. It's going to be different. If Embiid comes back for game 3 and they win game 2, Sixers in 7.
Okay. In Miami.
Yes. If Embiid doesn't come back till like game 4 and they lose, if they go down 2-0, it's going to be really, really tough.
Yep.
I think if they go down 2-0, he's definitely coming back game 3. There's no doubt about it. If it goes 1-1 and they come back to Philly, there's a chance I think he doesn't play, and then then he might play game 4. Like that's just I have nothing to back that up except just a hunch. That's what we do here.
Yeah, fair enough. So I mean, I don't even really want to talk about the series because whatever happens is going to happen. The biggest story is what's what I'm looking for. I want to put a petition together to stop calling like on this show and everywhere. His name is Glenn Rivers. He is not a Doc. He's not. Doc is not in his name. He is Glenn Rivers.
I agree with that. So I've been calling Howie Howard.
Okay, I
for
like
a
it.
little bit.
I like it.
But I don't know if that's because I love what he's done this offseason or just because I don't like the guy very much, like the GM. But I agree with Glenn. Glenn, absolutely.
Where was he? How was he given the name Doc? I'm not familiar with that backstory. Do you know?
I do know, but I don't remember. It was when he played. It was when he played in the league.
Playing career. Hold on, I'm on his Wikipedia page right now. Rivers was given his nickname of Doc by then Marquette assistant coach Rick Majerus. Rivers attended a summer basketball camp wearing a Dr. J shirt. Jesus
That's
Christ.
right. That's right.
Philadelphia 76ers player Julius Erving. Majerus called him Doc, and the players at camp followed suit. Okay, so yeah, I mean, at this point moving forward, his name's Glenn Rivers.
Yeah. I
don't want him. First off,
here.
I didn't know that it was a Dr. J reference. Glenn Rivers and Dr. J do not belong in the same sentence.
Right. No, I agree with you, man. I hear you.
So on this show, moving forward, it is Glenn Rivers. We are never to refer to him as Doc because
where do I sign?
Why the fuck is Joel Embiid on the court up 29 points with less than 4 minutes remaining?
Listen, I will give you his reason. It's not that I agree.
It's
with
not a
it.
good one.
Did you hear it or?
I did. I don't know which reason you're about to give me, but go ahead.
Listen again. It is not me telling you it is the right reason. I am just giving you his reason. I don't agree with it. I'm just telling you what his reason is.
Okay, what's his reason?
So his reason is that in the past, if you look at a lot of other teams in the NBA playoffs, they usually play their players until 2 or 3 minutes. They play their stars no matter what the score is up until 2 or 3 minutes left. He said that after Embiid makes what did he do? He dunked or whatever he did.
He
did the airplane.
He did the layup, did the airplane, yeah.
Yeah, he said after the airplane, if he said, you see me turn to the other coach and say something, he said, I'm going to call a timeout on our next possession, no matter what the possession is. A rebound, an inbound, whatever it is, I'm going to call a timeout. Just so happens that Siakam fucking buries his elbow into Embiid's face and breaks his face. So you know what? I'm going to say it. I wasn't going to say it because it's not a nice thing to say, but you know what? Siakam didn't do a very nice thing. I want him dead. I want him dead. I wasn't going to say it. I didn't tweet it because that's serious allegations, but I want him dead.
Okay.
I think I might need to go to therapy, honestly.
That's not where I thought you were going with that.
Dude, that night, I was with people and I this kid was like talking. I told you I was at a party and this kid was talking. I turned around, I looked him dead in his soul, and I said, I want Siakam fucking dead. And he was like, and then I turned around and just walked away. I didn't say hey, didn't even say hello to him. I just said I want Siakam fucking dead, and I walked away. That was it. You know what? And now I'm on the record, and I don't really care. I don't care.
All right, back to Doc's reasoning.
Okay.
I was just watching the end of the game against the Heat, and you know who I didn't see on the court with 4 minutes left?
Who's
Jimmy
that?
Butler. Jimmy Butler.
In which game?
The game tonight, when Miami was up by a bunch of points late in the game.
Because
Jimmy Butler was not out there.
Listen,
I'm just he said look at all the teams, they all do it. Miami didn't do it tonight. I'm just saying it's a piss poor excuse. And Glenn Rivers, you lose this series, you're done.
I should argue if you clear.
Go ahead.
Just so we're clear.
Go ahead.
You're not. Are you telling me this or just the world? Because I told you I don't agree with it.
No, I'm specifically telling Glenn Rivers this.
Okay.
So Glenn, hello. I know you're listening.
Yep. Avid listener.
I don't even know where to go because the Sixers have no chance of winning the series because of a boneheaded decision Glenn Rivers made. And I can maybe buy that. Maybe buy it if Joel Embiid isn't already hurt. But the fact that he already had a fractured thumb, you don't need him in there up 29 points, 4 minutes left. You just don't. There's no reason.
I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying, we texted about it a little bit that night. He was, and that's unfortunate. And it doesn't take the concussion away. It doesn't take the broken face, away. So, like, there were people saying like, oh, that should have been a flagrant. That shouldn't have been a foul
Who
on
cares?
Embiid. Like,
Who gives a
right,
shit?
they were up 29. They were gonna win. It doesn't fucking matter. His face fucking broke, and I want Siakam fucking dead. So like, it doesn't like it does not help. So like, they were gonna win the series. Like, it does not matter. So, but at the end of the day, like I agree. It was a really shitty move. It was on Siakam's end and on Glenn's end. So like, but it doesn't take away the concussion. It doesn't take away the fact that he's hurt. And like, and I don't want to hear people. I don't want to hear oh, he's so injury prone, like this, that. If he rolls his ankle or he hurts his back or his thumb, like he did, okay, fine. You want to right. You like concussions are not injury prone. Like they happen in every sport, no matter who you are. Like,
well, no, I mean that's not entirely fair. I mean this specific thing isn't injury prone, but like you look at like Eric Lindros, he was just prone to having concussions. So like that can happen over time.
This is the first time we're seeing him beat with concussion.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, and listen, like 90s hockey is a lot different than 2002.
Absolutely.
So
90s hockey is a lot different than 80s basketball. Like
right.
And the game's a lot
and
more
80s basketball was
exactly. That's my point.
Like this would have been cheered in the 80s, like if you did this,
Do you think?
And listen, I love physical basketball, but like there's a reason like elbows are like, why do you think in boxing like they throw punches? Like all they do is throw punches because elbows fucking break fucking faces. Like that's why. Because it is the most durable bone in your body. Like not durable, but like it is one of the hardest bones, or it's one of the toughest bones in your body. Like there's like if somebody hits you in the face with an elbow, you're going to get hurt. Like
it sounds like you're more mad at Siakam than you are Glenn Rivers.
Dude, I don't know if I can't say it again. I can't say it again, right? Can I? I don't know.
Sure, you can. Go for it.
I want him fucking dead. I mean,
do you think do you think he meant to do it on purpose?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Absolutely.
I'll have to watch it again. I couldn't tell.
Absolutely. The crowd was screaming "fucking B." The crowd was. I can't even talk about it anymore. I really can't.
All right.
Better hope I don't get fired from my job.
For saying you want him dead? Nah,
yeah.
You're not going to do it.
Nah, nobody knows I have this.
It's freedom of speech. That's
yeah,
right. 3 people are going to listen to this anyway. It's fine.
Right.
Oh man, where do we go from there?
So yeah, yeah, I don't know. I hope honestly, like I'm not a fan of like people like throwing. I hope they throw fucking. I hope they throw batteries at him. Okay, I really do. I hope next year he comes out
JD
and they throw,
Drew style, right?
Yeah, I hope he gets tormented. I do. I really do.
Because I don't watch too much NBA. Like he has a history of just being a dirty player, right?
Siakam?
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, if you told me this before, if you told me before the elbow, I would say no. But like now that he's thrown the elbow, fuck him. Yeah.
Now you want him dead.
I want him dead. Yeah. And you know what? I don't give a shit if people from Toronto even give a fuck, because you know what? They were screaming things at Embiid that were not very nice. And like, listen, I understand. I'm not somebody who's like pro cancel culture or whatever. Like, look, the NBA playoffs are tough, but like, you want to talk about Philadelphia booing or cheering people when they get hurt. You want to talk about Philadelphia like doing throwing snowballs at Santa, but you don't talk about Toronto how they cheer for this guy to get hurt. They don't talk, you know what I mean? So you know what? Screw them fucking fans too. I hope they get stuck in the fucking blizzards and I can't. I'm so angry. I can't even talk.
Right now, you remind me of the Bill Burr rant in Philadelphia.
Yeah. I'm familiar.
Did you hear this rant?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I was listening to that the other day because every once in a while I listen to it because it's hilarious. Where he's just telling everybody in the crowd to just basically go die.
Yeah. And I hope everybody in Toronto does too.
That's
honestly,
kind of what you're doing right
now. I do.
And I love it.
I hate Toronto.
All right, but anyway, I mean, Glenn Rivers, this probably is the last series he's going to coach as a member of the Sixers. So hopefully,
no, I don't know what you're thinking.
You don't. If they lose the series, you think he's going to be here next year?
I don't think he should be, but I think he will be.
You think he will? Legitimately, you think he will be?
I just think he's got too much power.
Why? Why? Why?
Because he's the
What is he-
fucking
what
15th
is he
greatest
prove-
fucking head coach, apparently. I don't know, because he's got the
What has he
15th most
proven?
wins.
What has he proven other than just have a great team one time?
I'm not saying he should be. I'm just telling you what I think.
And if they lose a series, there is a 0% chance he's here
Okay.
next year. Zero.
All right. I hope you're right.
Zero. That can't happen.
I hope you're right. I don't know. I think this whole Embiid thing kind of really helps that situation for him.
That was his decision to leave him in. It makes it worse.
No, I got you, but from basketball experts in quotations.
Experts. I watch
that's
25
the way that it's
minutes of
done.
basketball a year, and this expert could tell you he's a fucking horrible coach.
I got you. You're not. You're preaching to the choir. It's just, I just don't know if it happens. That's all.
All right, fair enough.
Simply for the reason that Embiid is not here.
Yeah.
And I understand what you're saying. He's not here because of him. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a built-in excuse. Oh, well, we didn't get far because Embiid got hurt, but like
exactly,
he got hurt because you were a jackass.
right?
We can move on. I don't have much Phillies or Flyers to talk about. The Flyer season's finally over, thank God, so we can move on. Anything Phillies? I mean, they had a 4-game sweep of Colorado, and then they lose 2 of the 3 to the Mets. There's really not much going on right now.
It's just another fast pass to a roller coaster.
It's really just another mediocre season again because they're back right around 500 again.
We could talk about baseball, but I went to Baltimore this weekend.
That's true. I forgot about that. How was
I visited Baltimore. I went to the aquarium. It's a fucking aquarium. And then I went to.
You didn't like it, or just all aquariums are the same? It's, that's what fish. It is. Fish are fish.
Right.
It is gigantic though. I have been
it
once.
is huge.
It's humongous.
Yeah. There's too many people.
Fair enough.
Too many kids. Like it's just But we went to the Orioles game. It is by far the best stadium I've ever been to.
How many stadiums would you say you've been to? Like baseball stadiums, like 5.
Baseball.
Or 6?
This is 5.
5.
But I've been to Fenway. I've been to Dodger Stadium.
Rank them.
Number 1 is the Orioles. Number 2 is the Dodgers. Number 3 is Citizens Bank. Number 4 is Fenway, and number 5 is the Angels. And I love all of them.
I'm surprised you have Fenway so low on that list.
I love Fenway. The field itself is the best field, but after being at like the Orioles and like you go to the Philly, they're so like Citizens Bank is fucking beautiful, and like when you walk into Fenway, it's like you look up and you just see like stairs. You know what I mean? Like the Phillies, it's like they have things hanging up. You can go do. There's a wiffle ball field. Like there's things to do to hang out. There's bars. There's Fenway's just like concessions and like stairs. Like that's really all it is. But the field itself is the best in the league. And I'm somebody who I think I said on the show, like I appreciate the old about stadiums. But I also really appreciate the new about them. Like the Orioles Stadium is fucking beautiful. Like the field is nice. Like right field. Have you ever been there?
No, I hear it's amazing.
It is.
It's just a shame that their team fucking stinks.
Yeah. Well, we talked about last week, like how Miami and like Tampa, like they just draft guys and then trade them.
Yep.
Hopefully the Orioles don't do that, because I think if the Orioles stick to what they have as these young guys, like again, we're not an Orioles podcast, so like I'm not gonna go too crazy into it. But like 2-3 years
Mullins,
from now,
you have
Hayes, you have
you had John Means until he got Tommy John. So
I mean they have a decent young core of guys, and like in like 2-3 years, if these guys really start to develop and like they can bring in another couple guys, like I think they could be a good team. But just the stadium, like right field is unbelievable. Like the station, I guess it is like the train station,
right?
That like big brick wall.
Okay.
Dude, their team store, like it's the coolest team store I've ever seen. Like they have really cool equipment, like merch.
Did they have any good food? Did you have any good food while you were there?
Dude, the best hot dog. So I get a hot dog every time I go to a stadium. The best hot dog I've had.
It's so basic. Like you gotta try all the different shit.
Well, okay. So we ate. So we made a whole day out of it. So like we ate before we went to the game because we were really hungry, and like we waited like we left the aquarium like 4 hours before the game started, so like we needed something to do. So like
what did you go? What did you go eat? You eat seafood? You gotta go seafood.
I don't eat seafood.
What do you mean you don't eat seafood?
I don't eat seafood.
You're in Baltimore. You gotta go eat seafood.
I don't eat seafood.
Unreal.
I don't eat seafood.
Like a Maryland crab cake? No.
Nah.
All right, to each their own, I guess.
You know who you're talking to?
I apparently not. I didn't realize you didn't like seafood.
No. So, but I try to get a hot dog at every game because, like, you know, that's the staple of baseball. Like a beer and a hot dog. Like,
yep.
And every hot dog I've had so far is different at every stadium. Yeah. I'll say Orioles are 1 on the hot dogs. Dodger dog is probably 2. Fenway Frank is probably 3. Aaron Mark at Phillies is 4, and then I'll say the Angels is 5.
Okay,
right,
fair enough.
Yeah,
didn't think we'd have a breakdown about hot dogs.
Yeah, no, man, I'm into it. I'm into the whole thing. You know, I do. So this is what I do when I go to, or when I try to go to stadiums. I will go and we'll walk around a little bit. Do the merchandise, the merch store, you know, the team store. Walk around a little bit more. Get a hot dog. Sit down, and then when we leave, usually I'll get an ice cream helmet from, because I collect pennants. I'm collecting pennants from each stadium and the ice cream helmet.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's usually like my MO. That's what we do. And then we leave. Oh shit. And then we leave after the game, or at least we didn't stay really that long because it was listen. Friday night, like I said, I went to a party. I woke up at fucking 4 a.m. Woke up at 8 a.m. to go to Baltimore. So it was a long day Saturday. So
anyway, back to the Phillies. Anything there that you want to talk about or not?
Like I said, it's a roller coaster season so far. It's still young. We still got a young season, you know, just like you said on Twitter. You know, so there's still a lot to, you know, to find out about this team. You know, hopefully they start hitting. They do a little bit like they did against Colorado. It sucks to lose against the Mets, but the Mets are playing really well right now. So, you know, I'm really hoping the ball flies in, you know, when it's, you know, the end of May, early June, July, August, when it starts to get hot.
Yeah, I will say this, and I don't have much Sixers. We get out of here after this, but ever since his 3-error game and when he said, "I don't like this fucking place," Alec Boehm is a god walking amongst mere mortals.
Yeah,
I mean, he's hitting the ball incredibly, and his fielding in the last couple of weeks. I mean, he's a completely different person. Like he's just playing with confidence.
He helped me beat you in fantasy baseball this week.
I was hoping you didn't bring that up.
Oh, we got to bring it up.
There you go.
Serious? We
gotta
bring
it
up.
Go ahead. The floor is yours.
No, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not here to embarrass you. I just gotta stay facts.
I'm a little surprised because I tweeted something out like scoreboard. Check the scoreboard. I did that
on
Thursday.
What, Thursday? Yeah,
I was like Thursday. I was up by like 60, and then you put up a couple of like great fucking like Friday and Saturday, and I was
yup. Still check that scoreboard. Yep.
Yeah.
It's all right.
So
we're not in the same division, so it's all right.
No, it's fine.
You'll be all right.
We can move on. So I guess we get out of here. There is.
We got the lottery next week, right? The NHL.
The NHL lottery is May 10th.
So that's next Tuesday. So we'll have another show before then.
Yeah.
So. All right.
Yep. Flyers get 4th best odds, I believe.
3rd, I thought.
I believe it's.
There's 3 teams ahead of them, right? Okay,
correct.
That's what I got confused.
Yeah, so
I got you.
So yeah, it was if Seattle won their last game, the Flyers would have went to 3rd.
Gotcha.
So, and then there is something that just came across. Don from Drunk on Broad just texted me. This is a quote from Glenn Rivers. Again, I'm not gonna call him Doc because he doesn't deserve that.
Right.
This is a quote post game. We like DJ. I guess he's talking about DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah. I know.
We like DJ. We're going to keep starting him whether you like it or not.
Oh, my God.
Like, his fucking ego is too goddamn big. Like, he's just got to be a jerk-off. He's just burning bridges at this point. Like, he's just being a jerk-off.
I got to get myself off here before I absolutely fucking throw something.
Do you want him dead, too?
That's a little much. I I don't know.
You just want him to like fall down a flight of steps and like break a leg or something.
Maybe like
Just-
2. Yeah, like 2 flights of steps. Yeah.
all right, that's probably a good spot.
It's
to
been
get
a
out of
while
here.
since we've had a couple laughs on here. I
Oh,
will say that.
God. Yeah, this episode's been great, but
Yeah.
I had to end with that quote.
I already know the name of the episode.
I had a couple to pick from. Now
Okay,
I don't even know
all
which
right.
one. I don't even know which one.
I want him dead.
Do we do I want him dead or another one that I wrote down early on? Beef Jergens is another great title episode.
No, I think we gotta go. I want him dead.
I want him dead. All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. Anything else in your mind before we skedaddle?
No, not especially not after that quote. No.
All right. Fair enough. Because didn't he have another quote? The other day. What was that quote?
He's had a lot. I don't know.
He had another fucking smart ass quote, and I forget. So, all right, we can get out of here. I'm tired.
Yes.
Again, anybody, if you're listening, we're anywhere. You get podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Like us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and go check out firedupsports.com. And if you're interested in writing for us, again,
Hit us up.
we're still looking for writers for Eagles, Phillies, Flyers, Sixers. Hit us up and we'll make it happen. So.
DM us personally on the account, whatever, email.
Yep.
Go on the
reach out.
site, whatever. We are very easy to contact. So
Absolutely.
let's do it.
So, all right. Go ahead. Do you have anything else? Look, you're about to say
No.
something.
I was just gonna say, I wrote something last week, and go check it out. Something I'm very passionate about.
Jimmy
subject
Rollins
I'm
should be in
very-
the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So definitely go on there, check that out. I think Christian said he's going to post his recap for the draft, and then we've got Josh on some Sixer stuff, and then we got our new guy CJ. So
Yep.
I'm excited to see what he's got too. So
Absolutely. And I'll get the Flyers juices flowing once I give a shit about the Flyers again. Which that probably won't happen until I don't know, August.
yeah, I saw some of the
July?
drafts. I didn't read them, but I did see them in the draft
Yeah.
section of.
Yeah.
So
So, all right, we can get out of here.
yep.
We'll be back next Monday. See you guys. Up, wrong button. Go.